Every civilization has a story, but some stories are older than memory, older than kingdoms, older than the very languages we speak today. This is the story of India, not told through dates or maps, but as a living, breathing epic of people, ideas, empires, and dreams. A story that began thousands of years ago on the banks of a river that still flows today. Long before the pyramids reached for the sky, and long before Rome laid its first stone, there stood cities in the Indian subcontinent. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Lothal. Planned, ordered, almost futuristic. Straight roads, multi-story houses, sophisticated drainage systems, granaries that fed thousands, and ports that connected India to Mesopotamia. Their writing? Still a mystery. Their government? Unknown. And their fall is still debated to this day. But what we do know is this. These were not kingdoms ruled by war, but societies built on trade, craftsmanship, and cooperation. When the rivers shifted, when climate changed, the cities didn't collapse in fire. They simply faded, quietly, like a chapter ending. But the story of India was only turning its first page. As centuries passed, new peoples and ideas flowed into the subcontinent. In villages and forests, sages composed verses, poetry that would become the Vedas, one of the world's oldest sacred texts. This was the era that gave birth to India's great epics, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. Kingdoms rose, Kosala, Magadha, Panchala, each shaping the land with war, trade, and ideas. Philosophy bloomed, rituals evolved, a new social fabric took form. India was discovering itself. Then came a man whose footsteps shook the earth, Ashoka, a powerful emperor of the Mauryan Empire. But his greatest battle was the one inside his heart. Standing over the carnage of Kalinga, Ashoka saw 100,000 lives lost. Instead of celebrating victory, he renounced violence. He embraced Buddhism and transformed from conqueror to teacher. He sent envoys of peace to Sri Lanka, China, and Central Asia. He built hospitals, planted trees, dug wells. Thousands of years before the modern world, Ashoka imagined a compassionate one. Centuries later, India entered a new dawn, the Gupta Empire, an age historians call the Golden Age of India. Here, astronomers like Aryabhata described the Earth's rotation. Mathematicians developed zero, a concept that changed the world. Artists sculpted temples that still stand today. Poets crafted Sanskrit dramas and epic romances. Trade connected India to Rome, Southeast Asia, and China. Learning thrived at great universities, some of which welcomed students from as far as Korea and Greece. India was not merely a land, it was becoming an idea of art, knowledge, and culture. But no story is without storms. From Central Asia came waves of invaders, Persians, Huns, Turks. Yet instead of shattering India, each wave added a new thread. Temples rose in the south under the Cholas, philosophy flourished under the Rajputs, and poetry bloomed in Bengal. Then the Delhi Sultanate emerged, a fusion of Persian, Turkic, and Indian cultures. Sultans ruled, dynasties rose and fell, but Indian civilization absorbed, adapted, and transformed. It was becoming a mosaic. each piece different, yet part of the same story. In 1526, a new empire swept in, the Mughals, led by Babar. Under Akbar, the empire reached its height, not just through conquests, but through diplomacy and culture. He promoted dialogue among religions, supported art, music, architecture. His descendants built monuments that still astonish the world today. The Taj Mahal, a marble poem of love. The Mughal era etched stories in stone, stories still told today. But empires rise and empires fall, and beyond the horizon, ships were arriving. European traders arrived for spices and textiles, but stayed for power. Through treaties, battles, and strategy, the British East India Company took control. After the revolt of 1857, India came under the British crown. Taxes increased, famine spread, economy drained, but resistance grew. Leaders rose, Gandhi preaching nonviolence, Nehru dreaming of a modern state, Bhagat Singh fighting with fierce passion. Millions marched, and millions were sacrificed. Finally, on August 15th, 1947, India was free. Freedom brought challenges, partition, rebuilding, poverty, but India rose. It became the world's largest democracy, a leader in science and space exploration, a land of 1.4 billion people, hundreds of languages, thousands of traditions, and one shared identity. India today is ancient and modern, diverse and united, struggling yet resilient, just as it has always been. The story of India is not a straight line. It's a river, winding, powerful, and ever flowing. From the first bricks of Harappa to the dreams of its people today, India is not defined by one chapter, but by the endurance of an extraordinary civilization. This is India, a story still being written. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.